but I told you that this was my house. He says, I was driving slow because I was looking at my Christmas lights. And once again, I said, I am so sorry. And they truly, they did not take my apology.
Hey, so this is a part 2 of the video that I uploaded yesterday about this lady here, Michele Bishop. Okay. So I did some research and I found out there's a lot more to the story than Michele alludes. Okay. Number 1 being like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. That's number 1. Number 2, this interaction was not disclosed to the world by the family of Michael Jenkins. Okay, the wife, and you can go and watch the full interview of that family. I'm going to find a way to try to get it for myself on here, but the wife posted that to their HOA group on Facebook, and that only. She only then found out a month later that this had went viral because someone from the HOA group posted it, right? But before that happened, there was a completely different narrative that she had, okay? Number 1, you have to go and check out the interview on Club Shay Shay yourself to get the full context. I'm not going to be able to describe it how they do, but it's completely different than what she's describing. Okay. This is the other half of that IG live where you can hear the tone in her voice is completely different. We caught audio of the husband during the interaction where he's kind of mad because they won't accept their apology on the spot. So there's a lot. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to let this play out. I don't think this is going to roll into the... I'm going to let this play.
Following her, chasing her, following her is what I said. I use word chasing. Following me. And, so she said, I jumped...
Look completely different, don't she? She don't look sad.
Out of the car and I said, I'm so sorry. I said, literally, I was pretending that your house was my house. I was walking up the driveway, and then I was like turning in. I was pretending that it was yours. And she goes, yeah, that was my husband. And so he ends up coming out and he's like, I told you this was my house. And at that point, I literally started... I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I am so sorry.
She lying.
And I told him, I said, sorry. I said, I'm so sorry. And then, I said, this is your house. That was my words. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, this is your house.
Nope.
I said, I truly kept thinking, like, maybe this is his house. Maybe this is his house.
No, you didn't.
And he says, well, I told you this was your house. And I said, you have to understand. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was such an awkward encounter. I said, the truck was, like, starting to slow behind me. And I'm out here with my little girl and my son, and I said, I'm a mom, and it was dark. And he said, but I told you that this was my house. He says, I was driving slow because I was looking at my Christmas lights. And once again, I said, I am so sorry. And they truly, they did not take my apology. And that night, I went home. And so if you guys saw on Instagram, I shared the story twice. The only reason that I shared the story is because I was heartbroken and it was a really scary night. I've always shared everything on Instagram. And so that night after that whole instance happened, I literally was sitting on the steps, first of all, and John kept trying to talk to me. I kept telling him I was so sorry. And I've never, just the panic. I literally could not come down from this like fight or flight. From the time that I was at the woman's house to literally 30 seconds later, telling the woman that I was just followed to the man stepping out on the front porch and it being his house. It was like all of these different emotions. And so I'm sitting at home, literally like having this meltdown. And I kept telling John, I was so sorry. Like I felt really stupid. And, so on the way home, I forgot to say that the cop was driving around our neighborhood, and I'm getting all these messages. I'm so sorry. the cop was driving around our neighborhood, and I stopped him. We stopped him, and I jumped over, rolled the window down, and I said, I am so sorry. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was his house. It was a misunderstanding. I'm so sorry. He was like, it's okay. I'm glad everything's fine. I was like, yes, it's fine. So I ended up, we went home. And that night, when I got home, I had tears, and I was making a cup of coffee. And if you guys know me, I put everything on Instagram. I talk all the time. It was an innocent mistake. I felt really stupid.
It wasn't innocent.
I absolutely was crushed I felt like they thought I was stupid. I already felt stupid. I truly felt stupid. Like I said to them on the porch, like I kept thinking like maybe this is his house. And then like I'm running and screaming at the top of my lungs.
You lying.
And so yeah, like I felt dumb for sure. So I went on Instagram, in my story, I still have it archived, and I like have tears, and I'm making a cup of coffee. And I said, I was like, man, you like talk about a night. I'm like, man, my night.
She got to keep reminding us she had tears. She's trying to make herself the victim so bad.
It just completely took a left turn. And I was like, super scary. I was like, I'll have to fill you guys in later. So I went live that night. And then I went live again the next morning. And I have to tell you guys, I have been on social media long enough to know that there's a lot of scrutiny. And so by me going live, I did not think that I was doing anything wrong. I was sharing the story of what happened, better safe than sorry, how scary it was, just what I went through. Like, that's the only reason that I went live. At the end, I talked about how I felt stupid and how this couple, twice I apologized and nothing came of it. And so, yeah, that crushed me. I did feel really stupid. So that is the story of that night. Many of you guys were on those lives, and so you guys know the exact emotions and state that I was in. So we are here, and it wasn't until about 2 weeks ago, maybe a little less than that John was sitting in the living room, and he called me the day prior, and he asked me a question about, did you ever say, he said, did you tell the woman that he was black? And I said, no, I told her that I thought he was a young white man. He's like, I thought so. And I was like, that was really weird that he called and asked me that. So the next morning, I was doing my morning reading, and he sits down in front of me, and he's like, we have to talk. And so he told me that there had been a letter floating around our neighborhood that had been posted in our mailroom that had said something about a racist profiling in the neighborhood. And so, of course, you throw racism into the mix. It's really yucky. And that was the furthest thing from what it was. To the point of literally, we have a handwritten letter from the woman's house that I went to. I'm trying to get the Ring doorbell footage of me standing on the porch telling John when he asked, are you sure it wasn't a black man? And I said, I think it is a young white man. But she wrote a letter. She was like, I'm happy to speak on your behalf.
She a liar,
you
bro.
You absolutely told me that you thought it was a white man. And so we had 2 days in a row, the letter was posted in the mailroom saying that there was a racist profiling, not mentioning our name, but it was in reference to that night. It was taken down 2 times. And then
because you
I
reported
believe there was an email sent to our HOA then asking for this letter to be sent to all the residents in our community. And after a video was sent of me, they decided to not share the message to the whole neighborhood. And so maybe 4 days ago, both videos of me, praise God, the other one, the one of me apologizing, was posted as well, which I do appreciate the transparency there. But once again, the videos were posted in our neighborhood page, attaching racism and profiling to, my name wasn't said, but the video was very clear of me on the Ring doorbell with my daughter, with me looking at the man saying, is this your home? And he said, yes. And I said, I don't believe that it is. And because of those words came out of my mouth, and because he was a black man, I have been pointed as being racist. Although...
Oh, here we go.
It was very dark. So, and like I said, I truly, 60 seconds later, ran to the woman's house, and I told her that I thought he was a young...
She wasn't. Okay, I'm going to stop it here because I think that portion right there rolls into the other video, which was kind of the ending of it. So I caught the ending part of the rest of the video. Okay. She full of shit. I'm gonna just be straight up. I tried to give her the, somewhat the benefit of the doubt. Upon hearing that interview on Club Shay Shay, she is full of shit. Okay. Number one, the wife and the husband already said, just as I emphasized yesterday, to go and apologize when the time is right. The wife and the husband already said she has not made an attempt to apologize. Nothing. She has done nothing that she's stating that she's done. She hasn't done shit. And the family said they got Ring video camera if she would have come to the door. Nothing. So that's a lie. Okay? Don't feel bad for her. Number two, she put this video out before to try to do damage control. She's only sad because she don't want to be viewed as a racist, even though she profiled and put this man and his family in a potentially life-threatening situation. Okay? You have to go and watch the other interview. I'm going to see if I can find a way to splice it and put it on the channel. But she full of shit. Flat out. And it's one thing I know. The people that try their hardest to prove that they're not racist, those are normally the people. Okay? I don't throw that badge loosely. You kind of have to earn the right to be called a racist, in my opinion. And she profiled him. That's a form of racism. So I'm not saying she hates black people and she feels this strongly about everything. I think she's obviously talking from a place of privilege, considering, the messages. I'm going to let this keep playing in the background on mute. But just watch her interaction as I'm talking. She keeps looking into the sky to try to force some tears out. And her story does not match up with the story that the family has given. Go and watch it. It's a little difficult to watch, but it needs to be understood of the position that she put this man in. The danger and the fear that this man had in that situation because of the fact that she's a white woman and she's running and yelling for help after engaging with him on his property. It's sick. Okay. Yeah, in my book, I wouldn't rock with her. They also stated that they're very standoffish in the neighborhood and they keep to themselves. So, a lot of people in the neighborhood, not that they don't like them, they just say, they're weird in a sense. But very unfortunate situation. That guy, he didn't ask to be in that situation. We don't know what her motives was. She said she was walking, but then again, why are you on his property? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't racist to be on his property. It's racist to assume that that's not his property and you're standing on his property. And the only thing we can do is be glad, and I think most of us would agree, the only thing that we really have nowadays that have our backs is these cameras. You need cameras for that reason, because if she wasn't caught on camera, the narrative that she tried to spin this to, ridiculous. That man could have went to jail that night or worse, just because you're yelling and screaming help in a situation that you created by yourself. You spooked yourself. And upon doing some research, she has a history of doing this, going back to 2018. So, yeah, protect ourselves. I know that man feels like he has a right to be there, which he does. He built that house from the ground. Obviously, he's very proud, and he should be. But it's looking like we're going to have to be in the communities of people that look like us, because we're not safe nowhere. And as he said in an interview, once you get to a certain point in life, you make a certain amount of money that color doesn't matter, and he found out that color does matter. Okay, so she's full of shit, and we're not tolerating it. And that's the only reason we're doing reactions and we're responding to it, because this is a very serious incident. No tears still the whole time I've been talking. Very serious incident, and the only way that we can protect ourselves is by, one, cameras, and two, being able to have our own platform to speak out about it, because the way that we're headed in this country right now is looking like it's going to be tougher and tougher for us to protect ourselves. But yeah, that's my part 2 to this video. She's full of shit. She racially profiled that man. I'm not calling her a racist, but you racially profiled him. So yeah, and it's not my job to do the cleanup work on it. It's yours. Like, comment, and subscribe. And if I can find a way to not get copywritten, to have the family speaking, I will post it, and that will be part 3. Okay? See y'all in the next one.